Hello beautiful beings, welcome or welcome back to the channel. I'm Shika, your medicine woman, and today we are going to be going over what you need to know about this Cancer new moon that's happening on July 17th 2023 and how it will affect you 3 days before it, the day of, and 3 days after. I'm really excited to go into this video with you. I will be pulling out some cards at the end of the video, just giving you channel messages deeper into what to expect and how to really work with this moon cycle. So before we get into the video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, put notification bell, share with your friends so you don't miss a video. And if it's your first time here, let me know with the rainbow emoji and introduce yourself, because I'd love to chat and hang out with you guys. You guys are awesome. I'm currently in Peru, so the vibes with a sister of mine right before I head to the jungle. So as you guys are watching this, I'm actually in the jungle. I'm doing my apprenticeship with my teacher and doing a master dieta. So you guys get to receive the medicine of these lands and really receive the messages of the wisdom and the keepers of these lands. So it is with deep honor to get to channel this for you. Now, a couple things I want to share with you guys quickly. As you guys know, I am not holding space the next month and a half. However, I got you. We are going to be doing a breathwork ceremony on August 8th at 5 p.m. Eastern time for the 8/8 portal Lionsgate, and I'd love to see you there. You guys can go and just sign up down below. And my last retreat is still open for the Untold Stories Ancestral Retreat that's happening at the end of November. So fill out the Google form if you're interested in that, if it's a full body yes, and I can look at your application and reach out. And lastly is my applications for one-on-one. I am opening it up in beginning of fall, September. So if you're interested, you can email me, and all of this is in the link tree for you guys. So I got you. It's getting a little hot in here with the fire. I think I made it too big, but I digress. Let's get into this video. Let me know if you're a Cancer, if you have it in your chart, where it places in your chart, and how are you feeling this Cancer new moon? What is coming up for you? What are the emotions that are coming up for you? The first thing you need to know about this Cancer new moon that's happening on July 17th, 2023 is that this is a month of nesting. So this is usually the time where we are really taking a step back and we are connecting with the earth element. We're connecting with that mother Maha element. So for a lot of you who've been really working the last couple months on your identity, maybe going through a big shift, maybe a big move, and especially for those who are pregnant, so all the pregnant mamas who have these light beings of consciousness that are coming to really foster this new earth. I've been telling so many people that the babies that are being born now are just like, we've never seen beings like this. This is an expansive, energetically alienated energy of beings that are coming into this space, and it's so beautiful to witness. So for all the mamas, if you're pregnant, let me know in the comment section. But again, this is a time of nesting. This is a time of reflection. We have some deep energy that's happening, especially in August. So a lot of you, this month has been transition, it's been transformation, and now you're in this word called integration, which means that your human and your soul is coming in to alignment with all of the spirit, soul, shadow work, healing that you've been doing. So rest, relax, nourish yourself. Think about how a mother nourishes a newborn baby, and you are nourishing the newborn version of you. That's really what this Cancer new moon is talking about. And when you can connect with that connection with that new version of you, that newness of that babiness, like that baby feeling when you see a newborn baby, which is essentially rebirthing another energy of you, another version of yourself, another, I guess you can say, aligned being that's ready to take on bigger things that maybe even your soul can't even fathom right now. This is really what this Cancer new moon is talking about: nourishment, integration. The next thing you need to know about this new moon in Cancer that's happening on July 17th, 2023 is that this is a great time, like I said, to work with the earth element. So getting into the garden, getting your green thumbs up. Any people who are like green witches, this is a great time for Cancer new moon. So, you know, whether you want to get more into the gardening or perhaps get more connected with your food. I've been going to the farmer's market. It's really changed my energy completely, is really understanding what is the source of food. The future collectively for the world is really coming into not just having this I want to say, expectation that we can just like go to the grocery store, get the food, and there's no connection with where's the source. What is the energy of those who are creating these vegetables and fruits? That's what we're being called to really tune into and really connect with. So get connected with your food. Where's your food sourced from? You know, is it energetically aligned to you? How can I nourish my soul in integration during this Cancer new moon through what I'm exposing my body to? This means like the environments you're in. This could also mean from your screen, social media. This is just like a really good time to be mindful, because this Cancer new moon is making you more emotionally sensitive. It's just important to really tune into connecting with your food. So for example, root vegetables, great to eat during this time. So beets, ginger, potatoes, any of that is really going to ground you 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, to really align your root chakra, because you just went through a huge transformation transition. I say huge lightly because for some of you it could be big, but for others of you it could have been like a small habit change that has rippled in certain parts of your life. So for example, maybe you just stopped having processed foods at this time, and maybe for some of you you've literally physically moved somewhere, or for some of you you're starting a new relationship, and this is a really big challenge for you because it's asking you to really open your heart. So the root chakra is establishing safety in the new, safety in the integration, safety into what's to come. And with that, this is where our food can be very supportive during this time. The next thing that you need to know about this Cancer new moon that's happening on July 17, 2023, is this is a time to understanding the differences between acceptance and forgiveness. I'm really happy I'm actually channeling this for you guys because I already recorded the meditation for you. So it's going to be the next video I'm posting. And I talk about the difference between acceptance and forgiveness a little bit. Like really just, not really talk about it, but I guide you through the journey of it. Here I'm going to talk about it. So when people do a lot of healing and shadow work, we always see the focus on forgiveness, like forgiving ex-partnerships, forgiving our parents, forgiving the person who has harmed us physically, emotionally, mentally. But the thing that is always missing in that space is we can't really forgive someone if we still have anger, resentment, jealousy, sadness, fear, whatever emotion that is blocking us to truly in our heart forgive, right? It's like someone saying, I'm grateful for the life I have, but really in their mind, they're pissed off at the amount of money they have in their bank account. The fact that everything is not going as fast as they want in their life and the way that they're manifesting things. So all these things are ways that in our human life are calling us to understand not forgiveness, but rather this very important word, acceptance. Acceptance is not altering the state of what things are, but rather adapting, harmonizing, and being with it. So the lesson this Cancer new moon is really teaching us is like, how can we revisit these doors that we've shut down completely because we feel like we just want to get it over with and like finish off with that cycle, and rather sit a little bit deeper into the part of us that can't forgive that person, situation, that story, ourselves. Bring like a very nurturing space, but also bring safety and accepting where you are in your life. This could be also accepting your relationships. Like for those of you in an intimate relationship, how can I accept my partnership and this is where they're at in their journey, as opposed to really focusing on what they're not doing and how they're not, where they need to be. Because that's usually a projection of our own insecurities and where we can't forgive ourselves and where we can't accept ourselves. So we're really being called to bring compassion in ourselves, in our relationships, and get curious with the doors of our past. Get curious of the doors of our emotions that are probably coming up during this time, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after. When we can allow ourselves to accept what is, we can then have more spaciousness to let that voice or that shadow to speak through emotionally, which I guide you guys through this guided meditation that's coming up next. And in that, you're actually understanding why all these parties involved are supporting you for where you need to be, which is very connected in the next cycles, which is the Aquarius full moon, as well as the 8/8 portal Lionsgate, accepting abundance, right? So again, you see how acceptance is so important. If we don't know how to accept and receive things, that's usually a reason that is underlying or maybe connected to letting go and forgiving, right? To let go of something that's holding us down, that's over our mind, over our head, that we feel is so heavy. So if some of you are feeling heaviness, I ask you to really tune into what parts of you really forcing yourself to forgive things when truly you're in a spaciousness where you can't forgive whatever is coming up, and rather tune into where can I accept where I'm at, where can I nourish, where can I find safety in where I am in my journey, and what is coming up as far as themes for this Cancer new moon. And again, the theme is really revolving around seeding new life, like manifestation, birthing, fertility. New moons represent family, represent environments, and fertility. So those three main focuses is really what we're focusing on. They say Cancer is the sign of the best mother because they're so nourishing. So again, I'm also going to mention that mother wounds may come up during this time. How can we accept the mother that we've chosen, that our soul has chosen? And how can we forgive also that mother if we can get to that point? And maybe in this Cancer new moon, you won't be able to, and that is okay. Accepting that and knowing that it is an eternal journey. Healing is not a state. It is a journey. It is a process, and it never stops. And for some of you that maybe are in a spaciousness where something, an old theme is coming up, how can I accept that there's something new that I need to learn, that now my soul is ready to open that door and to receive it, accept it, and maybe even forgive it. So we're really taking off this, like, the fire just fell, so it's responding. We're really just taking off the pedestal of pressure on ourselves and that negative talk. And, you know, it goes back to the feeling that's coming up, and like the vision I'm getting is like, you know, when you're at school and you feel so much pressure to succeed on something or to do well on something, right? And usually those are internal pressures that we've made and stories we've made of how the teacher expects a good student to be. And that same thing comes along with a mother, or being a husband or a partner, or being a business owner, or just being human, right? We have so many parts of us that we haven't been able to accept, and we're expecting ourselves to just jump to the forgiveness, right? So remember, acceptance first, forgiveness is next, and we can't forgive without acceptance, and it's a journey. So be compassionate with yourself. The next thing you need to know about this new moon in Cancer that's happening on July 17th, 2023, 3 days before, the day of, and 3 days after, is knowing the difference between boundaries and avoidance of safety. I see this a lot with a lot of people that, they're connecting with they don't know the difference between boundaries and avoidance, right? Avoidance is disassociation, right? It's creating a way that someone can't get to you or connect with you because you think that is a sense of safety. It's false safety. Boundaries is knowing what you need and learning how to express it within, right? So you can see, and outside of you, you can see during the Cancer new moon, we're talking a lot about nesting, nourishment, and that means we might have to speak to certain people that are asking for us things in our life that we can't provide because energetically we just don't have the energy. And for those of you who want to be the A+ student, this is not the time to push yourself. It's the time to really allow yourself to listen and say, why am I avoiding this emotional safety? Why am I avoiding what I want to speak about? Is there something that I feel uncomfortable to express my needs in this space of my life? For example, maybe you are being invited to go to something socially and you energetically do not have the energy during this time. How can I express that, not knowing that, how to establish my boundaries? Because some of us don't know how to. So Cancer new moon is understanding through the channel of the moon energy, what are our boundaries? How have they changed, right? During this time of this rebirth, this integration of ourselves. Is there anything in my life that I'm avoiding emotionally and just wanting to get over, or maybe just bypassing it? And if so, where can I lean into that to see that as an opportunity and a choice for me to establish my power and to create a very safe boundary for me and also for the other person and all those involved? The next thing you need to know about this Cancer new moon that's happening on July 17th, 2023 is that emotions are going to be all over the place. Like, this is not a time to get so attached to feeling sad one day, angry another day, and whatever another day. Just welcome the craziness and the chaos of it, because like I said, you're resetting, and it's almost like everything that you've been going through the last few weeks are finally having spaciousness to integrate, to land in your body. Some of you have been not in your body, you know, that could be in just not allowing yourself to catch up, your human to catch up. And again, the biggest mantra I just keep hearing when I'm sharing this with you guys is, I am safe in my body. I'm safe in my body. So it's really understanding that the emotions are all over the place. This is the way that you're purging during this new moon to create more space, to understand how can I really connect with my nervous system, that I don't just go to my practices and nourish myself and connect with that earth element only when things hit the fan, right? So it's a beautiful, nourishing, it kind of gives me like that soft, but yet potent essence. And it's funny because I'm going to do Master Dieta, and as I'm talking about it, it's giving me the energy of Bomansana, which is the medicine of the heart. And, you know, a lot of people explain her to be the loving no, right? It's like the mother that's saying gently to their daughter or to their child or their son, like, no, you're not going to do that. Like, no, this is not the time, right? It's loving. It's not angry. It's not vindictive. It's not resentful. It's just like, no, these are my boundaries. And no, this is where I'm at, and no, I'm not going to put that pressure on myself. So it's catching yourself. That's really where it comes. Catching yourself where you are hard on yourself, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, energetically. Moon cycles. So one of the biggest things that came up for this Cancer new moon, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, those of you on your bleed, if you're on your bleed or moon cycle, let me know down below. And how are you feeling? Because this is one of the times where you may be preparing yourself for a new shift for this fall. I'm noticing and I'm sensing between July and August, a lot of you that maybe were bleeding during the full moon or the new moon, it's flipping because your seasons are shifting. So notice what your bleed looks like. Notice what emotions are coming up. And what is your moon cycle asking you to nourish to prepare you for the other season of where your cycle is going to shift? Because there will be a shift that's going to be happening. Some of you are actually shedding a connection with a past romantic partnership that is connected to trust, lack of trust, and pain, whether that's physically, emotionally, mentally. So again, some of you may have a very dense moon cycle, but just to really connect with yourself, give spaciousness, go into that hermit mode, be with yourself at this time. It is so important. This is a great time for your heart chakra and sacral chakra. This is preparing you for Lionsgate. It's like the pre-purge before the real big thing. It's the way I've been seeing energetically from July, end of June, all the way to the beginning of September, is it's almost like a slow slope, right? So we're kind of here. Lionsgate is at the top, right? And then we have a little more bump, and then we're kind of coming down and plateauing. So right now we're just like anchoring and feeling. We're feeling why we have to be nourished, because once the energy peaks in August and you get all this abundance and you tune into what you want and you're clear with what the new beginnings are coming in for you, you're going to need your energy. That's like just how it is. So it's like this Cancer new moon is a blessing because it's really allowing you to just do nothing, which means just rest, be. And for those of you who maybe control is really a hard energy to surrender out of, this is going to be an opportunity for you to really connect with that, right? And to let that go. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm excited to see how this Cancer new moon, the emotions are sharing you little crumbs of what spaciousness you're creating, what habits you're creating of nourishment to prepare you for the bigger life and the bigger space that your soul is ready to hold. And the last thing that you need to know about this Cancer new moon that's happening on July 17th, 2023 is those of you connecting with family members, friends, and all those around you, notice the emotions that trigger you and your inner child. So I always say when people go visit family, this is the best time to do an inner child meditation. So if you're on vacation with family, or you're spending a lot of time with them, or you're sleeping over family and you want to do something for your practice, especially 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, do an inner child meditation. It's going to change your life. Like, it's really great because you're in the energy of something familiar where your inner child can tap in that much deeper in the environment it's in, even if it's not your childhood home, because you're around that energy of those people that have been with you all your life. It's going to allow you to rebuild, to go back to those emotions and those familiar patterns and repattern it. Right? We're really looking at the umbilical cord. There's usually a cord between you and the mother. So in this specific contacting of the family, connecting with the family during the Cancer new moon, we're seeing that this cord that is connected to your umbilical cord and your mother's umbilical cord, there is like a shift of triggers of energies. It's almost like, you know how they say like mothers know when their child is sick? It's the same thing. Like mothers know the emotions you have, and that might trigger, you know, the feminine or a mother figure that is around you. There is an opportunity for you to rebuild safety in that and nourishment. And then again, to express lovingly, what is your boundary here? Instead of being the child, the inner child self that would avoid it because you don't know how to process it. So you are reparenting your younger self with nourishment and safety during this Cancer new moon. So that's what you guys need to know for the Cancer new moon. I'm going to pull out some cards for you, loves. I already pre-pulled them out because I just find it easier. I haven't looked at them though. So I pulled out, and for those, because I know you guys are going to ask, I'm using the Earth Warrior card deck, and then I'm also using the Lightworker Oracle. These are card decks that I recently just got. So really love them. They're so great. I ended up getting quite a few cards. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards for you guys. So the first card we have is Tawadi, which is the kin of the red-tailed hawk. So anyone connect with the hawk spirit, this might really resonate with you. So I'm going to show you the cards of the Earth Warrior first, and then I'll go over them. We have the 11 number. I'm pointing it out because it means something here. So Ayana Vision, which is the way of the divine feminine revealed. So again, I love this for the Cancer new moon. I'll explain in a bit. And lastly, we have the 4-4, the white buffalo woman, hope, heart, and see her sign. I love this card. I haven't pulled this card before. This is the first time I've pulled it with you guys. So as you can see with these 3 cards, we have a lot of feminine energy that's coming up. So way of the divine revealed is like learning how the way that we do the work in this warrior work, especially collectively, can be in a way that isn't against the water, if you will. So Cancer is just telling us here, it's like a nourishing time. It's a time of, you know, tuning the feminine way of doing things, not always being in your masculine. And this is where this Cancer new moon is going to force you, if you are feeling a lot in your masculine, it's going to boot that out really quick. So this is just your awareness of your life purpose. It's your true passion. And when you take a time of pause, you're able to really receive that fully. So becoming more bold with your honesty, tuning into where honesty wants to be shown through your emotions, and what means so much that you are willing to give up all that you have held and all the fear that you've held and what that may be. So here it's really reflecting and tuning into, you know, when it comes to family, relationships, life, new beginnings, all of that. It's like symbolically really looking at where can I blossom in my life and tune into nourishing myself in the way that I need to. So when the Lionsgate comes, I can fully, with ease, be in flow and manifest that. So don't turn away from the yearning out the fear. So if there is any fears that are coming up as you take this time of pause, and this usually happens when everything goes on halt, That's when we think that if we're not around and we're constantly doing, that things won't progress. It's actually the opposite. The majority of us in society have been taught that way. So during this time is really a reset for you. Cancer new moon's a reset. It's a time for you to embrace it. It's a time to actually receive and to understand the transformation you've done so far in your journey. So then when that big ripple happens in Lionsgate, it all is like eureka moment. The white buffalo, I love the white buffalo card. And this one is 4-4. So 4-4, when we add it, it equals to 8. And this angel number is infinitive, like it's eternal. It means abundance. It means that essence. And here the oracle's really talking about there will be a harmony and coming together of sacred purpose after putting pain and conflict behind you. So new moon's all about like clearing out that, but now it's like, now I can move out of the pain. Now I can stop fighting, stop being in that fighting space and be more in the flow of receiving. Receiving is huge. Like I keep hearing receiving. A birth of something is pure and true shall happen under the auspicious of the spirit. Forgive yourself. We just talked about forgiving and others that lay claim to purity and goodwill, that your heart's true nature. Spiritual blessings is bestowed. Your actions are in accord with heavens. Complete release, renewal, and shall take place. The good, true will triumph in the end. Have faith with your prayers are being answered. So again, if there's any doubt or any bone of doubt in your life, this is a card to just say that there is a sign that will be received. And the buffalo woman, the buffalo energy is holding us during this Cancer new moon, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after. So keep your eyes open for the signs, but know that, you know, things get darker right before dawn, right? So it's like right when we think we're going to give up and we feel like we can't accept something or we can't forgive or we're in that space of doubt, that's really where Spirit's testing us. So again, how can we be in flow of that and really understand what is being called for us to forgive here? What is being called for us to accept within us in this true nature of our hearts? And when we can do that, we will receive something in return, always and tenfold. The other card we have is the Kin of the Red Tail. So this card in short is just really talking about how you are spiritually advanced. You've matured quite a bit. And it's almost like your intuitive gifts have expanded quite a bit. And I feel that for collectively, like I said, like when I talked about Cancer, the first thing I said for those of you who are pregnant, like this is like a very potent month for you. You're very, very attuned because of the Cancer new moon, and you are bringing the future of the earth, and those future souls of the earth are souls that we've never seen before. So yeah, it's a very potent time and there's so much coming up, and all the cards I pulled out are feminine cards. They're all female cards. We have the Orb of Light. So the Orb of Light is here. We also have the Initiation of by Fire, which this is beautiful, and fire is the element of the solar plexus. I'm going to go into that in a bit. And then we also have this one here, which is the Second Ray of Wisdom. And I love this. There's the angel holding her behind the light. Notice there's a lot of orbs and lights in all of them. Divine grace of efficiency. Beautiful. So just to go over with all of these cards, really what it's saying is during this Cancer new moon, as you rest, your inner fire is getting energy to, funny how I felt called to do the fire before this. So your inner fire is being called to really be initiated right now for your own inner power. You are balancing your inner power within your feminine energy. And in doing that, you have two rays of orbs. So the orbs of light represent your guides, your archangels holding you and literally holding your shoulders to let go of the pain, let go of, you know, the fact that you have this resentment towards certain situation, person, or thing. And if there is that resentment, it can also be to yourself. You're letting that go and you're giving yourself full permission to do that. And in doing those two things, you're then going into the law of efficiency. So things become much easier. And for a lot of you, it's going to feel like you can't believe how easy it is once you've accepted that, once you've come to a space of forgiveness and cleared that energy. Law of efficiency is like, it's not about working harder. It's about working more energetically aligned to your soul. And you kind of have to throw away all the ways you've been taught, your inner child has been taught, of how success is defined in this world, and reword it, reshape it, reform it. Because again, like I said, what's coming up is so much bigger for this world and for you. And for that to happen, sorry guys, my camera cut off. But where was I? So the way that we've been taught is completely not efficient for what's to come. So again, law of efficiency is really just saying like working in a way that is in alignment to our energy. And this doesn't only mean just for the Cancer new moon. Like I always say, 3 days before the day of and 3 days after, but it's about taking that lessons of nourishment, taking the lessons of mothering, remothering yourself, and re-accepting the parts of you that are wanting to be accepted. And then also just allowing yourself to be fully absorbed by this fire, like the fire of yourself, your inner fire. And when you can do that, there's so much waiting for you on the other side. And for a lot of you, I'm not going to say it's something that you know, you might sense it, but it's not going to be delivered the way that you think it will be delivered. So that is the Cancer new moon. I really loved channeling this for you guys. Let me know down below what resonated for you. Like I said, I will be posting an energy update video. Not energy update, this is the energy update video. The meditation for you guys next. That'll be in the next video, and you can do it 3 days before the day of and 3 days after to maximize. I know some of you guys message me and say, Shika, can I do it longer? You can. By all means, I have some of you who go to my old meditations and they feel like they still support them. But of course, for this moon cycle, it's really supportive to do it 3 days before the day of and 3 days after. So yeah, let me know what resonated with you and how you're feeling during this time. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, put notification bells. And I would love to see you at the Lionsgate portal. If you're feeling this energy, definitely come. It's a 3-hour breathwork ceremony that we're doing on August 8th, which is the 8/8 portal, Lionsgate, to help you and support you manifesting your abundance, your life, and just really clearing any blocks that you have within that. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, you can email me down below. And my ancestral retreat, the last retreat of the year, is still open. So if you'd like to come to a plant medicine retreat and work with your ancestors alongside with you, you can apply and fill out the form down below. I hope you have a beautiful Cancer new moon. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys in the next video.